Okay, this is Aaron with Exalted Lamb, and I'm doing another video here because, man, I've been looking at this after I got off work and a number of things and asking the Lord, like, what is going on here? Because when I did my last video, I showed how they were zapping it as it was getting close to Hawaii, and they've done this before, and they neutralized basically Miriam, they neutralized Norman in a way, and it was just it's crazy. And so I was wondering, why would they do this? And I thought, and I was said in my video, I thought they would strengthen it. But then I thought, I've had several thoughts, and I don't always voice all my thoughts on these videos because there's just a lot rattling around in there, you know. And I get thoughts from the Lord, and I get different things going on. And so I've been thinking about it all day, and like, why would they neutralize this thing when it gets super close again? And I think I figured out what it is. I really did. And I basically, when I'm watching this press conference with Trump at the White House with the FEMA people and, you know, and about these hurricanes and mainly about Florence. I mean, Olivia is not being talked about almost anywhere. Everybody's underestimating this thing on purpose. I am telling you, on purpose. It is freakish. It is freakish the way people are not paying attention to Olivia and how it has preeminence in iPad Goat, I'm telling you, and other things. So, you know, when I'm thinking about this, I was thinking, hey, you know, all they have to do is make it rain again, and then it just has to be just enough so they can blame somebody for attacking Hawaii, okay? And maybe they'll say, hey, Russia got in underneath the storm, and then they fired nukes or fired something or whatever, and then a lot of the you know, tsunami happens, and then all these people die, and then we're gonna go get them, you know, or something like that. I mean, I said that in my last video. They're gonna blame somebody, I'll bet you. Now, I don't know how the future will play out exactly, but that's my intuition. That is my gut feeling. And my other gut was that, you know, this is in iPad Go somehow, and I couldn't quite figure it out. And then in this press conference, I could not believe what he said. So I'm going to play this for a few minutes, not a few minutes, just a few seconds, maybe about 30 seconds, and then I'm going to stop it, and I'm going to see if you get what he's saying. Now listen, these things, this is so contrived, this whole thing, this press conference. I picked up several things in this. The way he said what's going to be hit, it was Virginia, and then he said Maryland, even though Maryland hasn't been talked about, and it's just crazy, some of the things he's saying. And when he's talking about Puerto Rico being hit, I could not believe the insensitivity. He said it was a success, and like thousands of people died. It was just, it's ridiculous. I mean, this guy, like I showed in iPad Goat, he is a pawn of the Luciferians. He was predicted to be president in the iPad Goat. I mean, before 2012, before 2012, he was predicted to be president. He was shown there, and it shows him as elected, like I showed in my last video. And that was even years before 2012, because they take some years to make a video, to make that movie. The animated movie is what I'm saying. So I want you to listen to this and see what you think, and see if you pick up on this. And then I'm going to tell you what I picked up on this.
Systems, we have food systems, we have a lot of contractors waiting, but for the most part it's been handled by FEMA, and also we've coordinated locally. We have food for days. We have emergency equipment and generators for many days. We should be in great shape. Now, I've also heard it could be 21 and 22 inches. If you can imagine what that is, 22 inches of rain. It is not something that we've had. Certainly we've never had this on the East Coast. So, but I think we're very well prepared, very well set up.
Okay, so this is very important. He mentions, now maybe it's just because I know iPad Go so well, and I was shocked. I was actually shocked that he said that, and immediately I knew what that was referring to. He somehow picks 21 and 22 inches and then zeroes in on 22 inches. Now, why would you say that? And by the way, he's talking about Isaac, Hurricane Isaac, then he's talking about Florence, and then where it might go, and all that kind of stuff. And then he's saying generally about, you know, the resources and the food they have, and all that kind of stuff, and the generators and all that stuff. And then he picks out of nowhere. I saw him kind of switch, and then just basically had to pick out this 21 or 22 inches, and then he says 22 inches. Now, why would you say that? Why wouldn't you say 20 plus inches, or why wouldn't you say a lot of rain or whatever? Why would you say 22 inches? Well, I know why. This is crazy. Now I know why they zapped this thing, and I'm going to show you how they zapped this thing. They want it to go down to a tropical storm or even maybe a tropical depression. So it just rains and it doesn't move very fast because they can't have it move very fast. It's got to rain a lot on the north side, east side of the Big Island. And I'll bet you they're going to say it's 20 plus inches or 22 inches. Now let me show you why that is. Let's go to iPad Goat. Okay, now remember, if you've seen any of my other videos, especially the last 2 videos ago when I did about an hour and a half video about this, remember this apple's rolling, and I said on one side, which you can see here, is a cresting wave, and on the other side is showing a volcano blowing and everything. Now I'm going to get to that part and show you here. Let me slow it down a bit. Again, right here is this volcano spewing up, and you have the lava right here. Over here on this side, showed the cresting wave here. Okay, now watch it. It'll split, and I'm going to show you why, when he said 22 inches of rain, it just clicked for me. There's the splitting. Now watch this. Okay, now you have Obama, okay, his face. Now I've seen this so many times, and I knew this is a V. And I kept thinking the possibility that the V is the 22nd letter of the alphabet, and they're looking for something with 22. And so I'm thinking maybe a date or something, okay? Because the apple splits on 8/21, or when Apple splits, it shows 8/21, and it also shows 8/2 or 8/3, and that's why I said 8/2 or 8/3, which is 9/11 or 9/12, and now it looks like it's going to be 9/12, and what I was predicting, because 8/2 is in the lunar calendar that I showed on my last video. You can go back to it, and then this is not a date. It is showing a raindrop, like a sweat drop on him. But then, and I'm seeing this is a mountain here maybe, and then this is rain hitting it like Fissure 8. Okay, and this is rain hitting 22 inches. When when Trump said 22 inches and just picked it out, he could have said 20 plus. I mean, he could have said tons of rain, or he could have said almost anything. He picked 22 inches. Now, I'm telling you, you don't have to believe me. You'll see it play out. I am confident that this is 22 inches of rain. Now, I still may be wrong, okay? I'm not, but this is freakish the way this is all coming together for me. And I immediately knew exactly. When he said 22, I was like, no way. He's actually saying this. And he's referring to one of the, I think he was even maybe sort of referring to Florence, but he didn't say that. He didn't say Florence. He was talking about Isaac and Florence and all these other hurricanes. He was talking about Puerto Rico. He was talking about the East Coast and the different states. He was talking about the preparedness in general. And then he goes and just has to pipe up 21, 22, and then say 22 inches. Okay? So this is very crazy. Okay, I think this somehow represents the Fissure 8 or something, and then this is 22 inches of rain going down on it. Okay, this is crazy. And I was wondering why they show Obama and his eyes and stuff, and I think there's something to do with this. I see a little bit of a shape of a mountain here, maybe even lava coming out, and I've looked at this so many times, and when I heard 22 inches, I'm saying this several times, but I could not believe it. I could not believe it came out of his mouth. And these guys, they're saying several things in order in different ways to signal what they're doing. They believe in this stuff. They believe they're gentlemen. And it's like if you were to go on a hunt, as you know, you're just gentlemen, and you go on a hunt and you let your prey get a head start, you know, and then we're going to go and try to hunt them. We'll give them a head start, you know, and then, or we're going to tell them in different things, and then hopefully they're smart enough to figure out that we're going to kill them or something. And they're like that. In fact, I know that for a fact because one of the Rockefellers was talking to Aaron Russo in a documentary that Aaron Russo did called Freedom to Fascism. Look it up. Aaron Russo, Freedom to Fascism. And he befriended a guy named Jay, I think it was Jay Rockefeller, one of the Rockefellers. Maybe it wasn't Jay. No, maybe it was the other guy. Anyway, he befriended one of the Rockefellers. My memory doesn't serve me right now. And he told him a bunch of stuff that actually happened in the past and why and all this different stuff. And it was freakish. And then this actually aired on PBS locally in my state. It was phenomenal. I could not believe it. And they showed how these billionaires like the Rockefellers have control and what they're really doing. You should look up Freedom to Fascism, Aaron Russo. And then he somehow died not that long after that. Once it was aired on public television, different places, then he died. So anyway, getting back to this. This is crazy. These people are signaling through Trump and other people, even this press conference, they're saying different things for different reasons because this is about to happen. They just had massive rituals today. I mean, it is crazy. They had so many these rituals today. The Eye of Oculus did open in New York today, which let in natural light that looked like a serpent's eye. Okay, and you don't have to believe any of this stuff. It is going to play out. I'm just telling you ahead of time. So when it plays out, you're going to go, what the heck? Okay, so this is what it's showing. Now, let me show you what I saw earlier as well. This morning and later today was going on with the storm here, the hurricane. Okay, now earlier, if you can look at my earlier video at the end of it, it was only like 12 minutes or something like that. The one just before this one, the one I did this morning. You'll see how the storm was really red in the middle, and it was just barreling towards Hawaii. It was crazy. We don't have any wind shear here. In fact, you put in the high winds. I'm going to do that right now. I'm going to put in high winds. Okay, and the high winds are what kind of puts a wind shear against this. I mean, they're going all over the place. There's nothing that's just shooting against us. So this thing was barreling this way, and then all of a sudden it just starts breaking up right here, kind of the same spot it did last couple times. But with Miriam, it was definitely shot. There's wind shear. I mean, they were doing some stuff there. They were superheating it, I believe. It was showing. I wish I had access to some of the satellite stuff that my brother Weather War 101 had. I don't know where that is. I haven't had time to really search it out and spend tons of time trying to find out. But if you go to his site, you can see how, for example, how Irma, the satellites show how the temperature of the water below the hurricane just went up like crazy. They were superheating with microwaves with these weapons that they use. It's phenomenal. You should check that out. It's on one of my videos, Can NASA Be Believed or whatever. And then go to Weather War 101 if you doubt this or you want to see the details. It's crazy. Anyway, so this thing gets zapped right here. Now let me show you. It's just basically kind of breaking up a little bit, but it's going to basically sit here longer, I believe. It's going to go a little bit slower, and it's going to sit here longer and just rain right here, I believe. Okay? We'll see what happens, but I'm telling you, there's just so many things coming together. This is really crazy. I'm freaking out here. I cannot believe the details that they're doing. And listen, they play this story and they have this hidden information, and this is all messages and stuff. They're doing these things. Each one of these hurricanes has a purpose. We don't always know the purposes. I mean, I don't go to their meetings or anything. I can't know this. I'm seeing through a glass darkly, in a sense. It's kind of like what the Bible talks about. I can't know all these things that are going on, but the Lord just gives me hints and shows me stuff as I'm asking and praying and different stuff, and I'm begging Him to show me, because all these people are going to die. Listen, I'm telling you, people in Hawaii, you've got to leave somehow. If you don't leave, please come to the Lord Jesus Christ closer than you ever have. If you don't believe in Jesus Christ, come to Him. Beg Him, confess in your mouth the Lord Jesus Christ. Believe in your heart God raised from the dead. And if you already are a Christian, you need to get so close to Jesus. Ask Him what to do from now on. Please, I beg you. Okay? This is coming. Now, I don't know the exact timing of everything, but I'm telling you, this looks like it's going to be here tomorrow. Very possibly, okay? It may be the 13th or 14th also. It depends on how long this thing takes to rain, and the 22 inches, I think. This is freaky. I cannot believe this. So let me just show you how they've zapped this thing. They've literally zapped this thing for over 12 hours. Let me show you what the Mimic map shows. I mean, more than I've seen in a while. Okay, here we go. Okay, this thing is rolling along. Let me start all over here. So right here, it's rolling along. it's got a momentum. It has a certain form. And then right here, watch. Boom, zap. Look at that. Whack. And at the same time over here, Paul gets hit as well. It's going to rolling along as well. Watch. Boom, zap, whack. And then Paul goes down to nothing almost. These both at the same time. And then this thing just sits right here. I don't know why they have to zap these at the exact same time. It's crazy, but you see how it's getting in the eye, and it's affecting the eye, and then it's basically zapping it apart. Now again, these are weapons that are interfering with this microwaves. This is microwaves showing temperature in the sea, and that's how it's showing these different color bands of temperature and things through microwaves. I don't know how it all works exactly, but you can see how these light, almost clear bands, and then eventually the microwaves interpret it as white. Watch. Boom. I mean, and then at that point, in fact, it started earlier. You can see little hints of it over here. It starts earlier, right there. Boom, boom. That is right about 12 hours. Because if you zoom out, you can see the UTC, and you can see when it starts to light up and then when it finally stops. It's about 12 hours, something like that. Give or take an hour or something, because I can't see everything. This thing shows hours like seconds. It's crazy. So this thing is just being blasted right here, and so now it's sitting kind of right here, kind of look like it's blown apart, but it will just sit there and go kind of slow over Hawaii, and especially this side, and rain. I'll bet you. I would almost bet you. Okay. So anyway, we'll see how this all plays out, but I'm telling you ahead of time so you have some idea what I'm thinking. Now again, this is my perception. Okay. I don't know the future. I can only go by hints I'm given, things I think about, all that kind of stuff. So listen, and I'm going to also say another thing. This stuff you just don't know what's going to happen. You just don't know, okay? And I've made mistakes and things, of course, okay? But you know what? I don't care about making mistakes. I'd rather make mistakes and try than sit back and do nothing, and so people don't know, okay? And I'm asking all of you, any of you, there's still time. Warn people, please. I'm telling you, warn people. If you know anybody in Hawaii, please, or the West Coast, especially Hawaii, or if you're in Hawaii, brace for impact. I'm telling you, next day or two, I don't know when it's going to come, but it's coming. These people are just signaling like crazy right now, and they have these crazy rituals today that were about these things on both coasts. Both coasts are going to get hit by these hurricanes, and underneath these hurricanes are going to be missiles or torpedoes or something, and they're going to have massive tsunamis that wipe out the coasts to some degree, one right after the other. I think it's Hawaii showing pet goat, Hawaii first, and then the East Coast. Hawaii and then the West Coast, and then the East Coast. Okay, because look at Florence. Florence is coming in a few days, and then you've got maybe Isaac and whatever, days after this, Olivia here, okay? So you've been warned, or like I say sometimes, you've been served, because I'm trying to serve you, please, just take this to heart and pray. Just pray, and do whatever you can, do whatever the Lord tells you. I beg you. So this is Exalted Lamb 1, over and out.